Okay, first test video. Make sure everything is set up in a way to allow for all the postures. So the first thing that I do when I'm practicing bowing, I'm going to start cold so you can see the difference between warmed up and not. I take off my rings because your body needs to know what it's like to experience postures that are not inhibited by what you're wearing. And then I roll up my sleeves so I can keep a good eye on my wrists as I'm playing. You might want them up to your elbows, it's really a personal preference thing. Okay, so I'm not even in tune yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Actually, sounds pretty good. Okay, we've done all that, ready to play, and I'm actually going to start with just the bow. Hopefully you can see everything I'm doing. Let's get really close. See if it'll focus on my hand. So this is the posture. We're gently resting these two fingers and thumb. They're kind of buddies all together. And then this finger is a guide to make sure the bow doesn't go too far this way. And this pinky is a guide to make sure the bow doesn't go too far this way. See how the pinky's just there, but it starts to engage as the bow comes toward it. Same with the pointer finger. So there's not that much that's done with the pointer finger or the pinky unless they're sort of activated by these postures of the bow. Okay, so the first bow exercise I really like the best is the up and down one. It's the one I struggle with the most. I have a lot of muscular stuff that means I have to warm up a lot more than you might expect just to play the most simple thing. So this is a really good warm-up for me. So I'm in my correct bow posture. I've got my elbow out, and I'm bringing it out from my chest. Not just in the joint, but like actually using my chest. So you go up, try to keep it as straight as possible, and down. And you want to go as far down as you can go. It starts to get tricky at about the waist for me. And then back up again. And you always want to go as slow as you need to go to do it the very best that you can. So that's what I'm doing. This is as fast as I can go without royally messing it up. That's about where I'm at coming into it cold. So that's exercise number 1. I recommend doing this about 5 to 7 times as part of your bow exercises. You can do it 21 times or longer, but I think fatigue is really important to listen to when you're building muscle. And this is not a big athleticism stretch. You're not in boot camp. So you can just do it 5 to 7 times to remind your body what this feels like. Okay, the next one I do, you see my pinky started to engage immediately as soon as we went this. This one's also really hard for me because these muscles here, for some reason, are the slowest to develop on me, so I feel like I need to really work to keep them in shape. So this one's pretty self-evident. We're just going to go across, but it is very hard for me. So I think the nice thing about making these videos for you is that I'm going to get in much better bowing shape myself. So what I'm feeling as I'm doing this is a sort of automatic desire to let the pressure go into the joint. You want to go ahead and let these muscles engage to prevent that. The triceps are at the back of the arm, the upper arm, and the biceps are at the front of the upper arm, among other muscles. So you want to make sure those are doing the work and that the pressure isn't landing in your elbow joint or your shoulder joint, because that can lead to some pinching down the line, which will inhibit the fluidity of your bowing and create problems for your body. Okay, again, I'm just going to do it 5 to 7 times. I'm treating all this like a warm-up. And like any exercise, as I'm doing this, I'm like, oh yeah, get in a strong posture. Make sure my core is supporting my body's movements. Remember to breathe. Just like any gentle warm-up. Okay, I'm starting to feel warmth in my hand, like this is hard, so I'm gonna stop, shake it out. Always have water nearby when you're doing any sort of musical warm-up practice exercise because building muscle requires hydration. So if you get thirsty, drink. Simple. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go from this vertical position to horizontal position. And again, as slow as you need to go to be as controlled as you can. Moving the arm back here as little as possible. So most of the motion is with the wrist, and then when it can't go anymore, in order to keep my wrist straight, I'm going to go ahead and use my elbow to guide the rest of the posture. No lifting here. This motion is all down here. So we're going with the hand, and then my elbow needs to come up to keep my wrist straight. And I can drop my shoulder when I get there to remember what that feels like, to have a nice, soft, supple shoulder, even if my pecs are working, and even if my triceps are working at the back of my upper arm. Oops, that one was messy. And that's the thing, you just keep going. There are going to be some really messy ones, and instead of stopping to critique each one, try to do the best you can through the process, and then just try to do better the next time. Okay, now one of the biggest bow ones that I like to practice, I'm going to shake it out and get a drink of water. Okay, back to it. Is setting the bow on the string. A lot of people get a bounce going, which you only want to do intentionally if you're playing really tight, clean classical music. And for all of these exercises, I like to do them from the classical perspective because it gives you the option of precision. And then if you want to play funky and messy and crazy, you can, but you at least know what you're going against, like jazz. Okay. If you're going to break the rules, know what rules you're breaking so that it's a deliberate, controlled kind of thing. Okay, so a lot of people, when they're going onto the string, there's a bounce, right? And that's okay if it's intentional or you don't care, but being able to do it without the bounce is important. So it's about slowing down as you come up to the string, but then not interfering with the rhythm. So I actually just do this as a bowing exercise. I come up, I set it down, I see that I'm in a good posture, and then I let my whole arm fall for the downward. You use gravity as much as you can in strings, because gravity and that relationship with gravity and bowing is a big part of the fluidity in playing string music, for me anyways. I just assume it is for everyone. Ooh. That's not a good one. And do this with each string. This is about getting familiar with where the strings are. So one thing I would like to mention here, as I come up from practicing on the A string and I move to the E, you can see that my bow is automatically more crooked. It doesn't have to be perfect, but when we are doing these precision practices, this is a good time to go ahead and correct that your bow is going to run along the line that this bridge makes, because that's going to be the clearest, most precise tone if you think about how the string vibrates like this, and you want to be inside those shapes with your bowing. So I'm going to go back to practicing on the E. Got a lot of bounce on the E. Apparently that's a hard string for me, so this will be good practice. Sometimes it helps me to take a breath in and kind of bring my chest up as I'm coming to the E because it's closer and it's working these inner, the muscles underneath the biceps brachialis more. Okay, we're going to practice on the D. Which for you, this position would be the G string since you're playing cello. There's a few ways I see myself coming at this string. And it really depends. Like if you're starting a piece, you go up. You know, if you're just coming from the A, you're just gonna move your arm. You know, get a little help from the elbow as you come up. Let's do the big circle one for now, just because it's about quietening the bounce. Okay, the hardest one for me, and maybe for you, for me it's G, for you it's C. And I'm seeing that my posture is pretty out, so I'm going to do one bowing to get straightened. And that helped. You can see it's a lot straighter now. Maybe it looks crooked from your angle, I'm not sure. If you come on crooked or not, you can always straighten your bowing out. That's why those up and down exercises were so important, because you're really getting in touch with these muscles here. Okay, so those are some bowing exercises to warm you up. Let's stop there. So I think 11 minutes is long enough for one video. Once you've done about 11 to 15 minutes, you would do those exercises longer since I was just introducing them mostly. But I'd say like do them for 10 minutes or so, take a break, drink some water, maybe do them again, just the ones that you feel like you need to work on. So I'll get ready to do some actual bowing on the instrument for you.